Well, good evening, everybody, and good afternoon, good morning, depending upon where you are. Welcome to Bourbon Neophyte. Kind of did a change of plans here. Um, my phone was blowing up. People asking me if I was going on this afternoon, and I'm like, yeah, maybe if I do, it might be this afternoon, 4:30 my time, after Stacie. And then somebody says, oh no, Stacie's going to be on Livewire. And I'm like, what? Stacie's going to be on Livewire? You've got to be kidding me. And everybody's like, no, no, no. So, of course, I had to get some clarification and all that good stuff. And sure enough, she was. So I had to change my plans, get my hat ready, put on a tie, and look good for St. Patty's Day since I'm filling in on her spot. Lord only knows the last couple times I had to fill in on Livewire, I never got asked back. So I figured I can't blow this gig. This is too good. I mean, look at what happened to Jay Leno when Johnny Carson left. I mean, look, when you've got to follow in the steps of Stacie, you have got to look the part. You got to put your green on today. I'm an Italian, but I'll wear green if that means I get to sit here and drink some whiskey and chat with you all. I'm good with it. I don't have any problems. But so yeah, Stacie's going to be on Livewire because she's big time. When you get asked to be on Livewire like that, you've made it. Yeah, that doesn't happen to me anymore. They're like, oh my God, we cannot give him the reins of this show ever again. Well, one thing I always told them, I am not responsible for your actions. Sorry, can't help you there. But hey, welcome. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Glad to have you all here. I've been chatting with some of you kind of behind the scenes and as things been going on. And yes, you're right. I've donned the tie, the shirt, and yes, there's green in the tie. Put the hat on. I am set for the show. But I am really glad to see you guys here. Really appreciate having you here and seeing you all today and just doing this kind of an impromptu, hey, get ready, here we are. Um, Take you up to almost Livewire. I don't know if I'll stay on the full 3 hours or not. Don't know. Just depends on how things go and if I get hungry enough. No, I do not eat corned beef and cabbage before everyone asks me, hey, did you have any? I know Sugar Kitty had some roasting and he might actually have already had it. I don't know, but I know he got more than one. But that's all I'm going to say. So apparently he is going to make some and have it later. But anyhow, really again, really do appreciate you all here and just thank you for this short notice and this stream and filling in for Stacie and thanking her that she allows me to do this. It is really, truthfully, it is nice of her to do that. That's for sure. Look at this. Look at this. Woke up from his afternoon nap. Really appreciate it. Like I said, when Mike pops in, that kind of gives me a ray of hope that one day I may be asked again to fill in for Livewire. One day I may earn that title again. You just never know. But always great to see everybody here. Appreciate you all. And oh my gosh, look at this real quick. Jeff, cheers, brother. Nice to see you. And of course, my good buddy Jacob down there. How's everything in New Mexico? Hope it is well with you, my friend. Oh, wait a minute. Sugar Kitty's answering. Had some of the second brisket I made. What's in the crock pot is almost done. When I started it, yeah, I knew you starting early this morning because I caught bits and pieces of it on Ken's stream. That you had come back from the market and everything was going into the crock pot. So yeah. And then of course we got Mr. Morgan here. Appreciate you joining us from across the pond, sir. Thank you very much. Really. Fill in, you're a part of it. Yeah, yep. I'm just busting your chops. Love you guys over there at Livewire, truthfully. Any chance I get, yes, I always have an open invitation there. For those of you who don't know, I am truthfully joking. So yeah, I am always welcome on that stream. So don't everybody think not. But anyway, so being that it is St. Patrick's Day. And let me just say this. You don't want to have Irish whiskey? You don't have to have Irish whiskey. I'm going to pour one of my favorites, and I had it 2 weeks ago. Little Redbreast PX. Love this pour. Truthfully do love this pour. But I am going to fresh crack a scotch. And some people have seen a picture of it. Others have no idea what I'm talking about, but I have got to crack that baby because I cannot wait to do that. And a little shout out to Deathless Dogs. I got Dan's glass there and egg roll. Hope they are doing well. Missed seeing those guys. There we go. Let's get a pour here for St. Patty's Day and have a little taste here. Just a God, I've always loved the smell of this PX sherry. I just think it's so rich and sweet. Honestly, I just love the stuff. If you can't figure that out. Oh my goodness. Looky here. My executive chef right there. What is up, man? How are you? Hope you're doing good. I know you're probably working today or getting ready to, well, we would be there. It's probably going to be a pretty busy day for you, but always glad to see you. Honestly, appreciate you for popping in and smashing that like button. It's really great of you. Hey, and nothing wrong with a beer. You know, I wasn't thinking I would have enjoyed having a Guinness or two. And don't ask me. I mean, I saw it several times today, at least 6 times on Ken's stream. So I was quite aware of the Guinness and it was always in my head. But just, I don't know. There's no excuse for not having it. Mr. White, cheers, man. Thank you for popping in. Always appreciate having you around. Thank you very much. Thank you. Like I said, appreciate you all. Happy St. Patty's Day. Let me raise my glass to you and say, cheers, everyone. Man, that is just such a creamy, sweet, satisfying pour. Truthfully is really a nice pour. And I am not worried about it ruining my palate. It's not a high proof. I actually forget what it is. And I looked it up on 46 ABV. We all good. We're all going to see it's 46, 43. I don't remember. But it's just a nice, consistent, delicious pour. So reason why I said what I did today about Irish whiskey is I met a friend this morning for breakfast. He had been out of town for a while, and we just got together and chatted, and believe it or not, had a pipe, a little early morning pipe, because it was early in the morning, and chatted at the local pub, and nothing big, but, he said, we got into the discussion of whiskey. Oh, imagine that too. But we were talking about that, and he goes, he's not a huge Irish whiskey fan. He doesn't like it. He pretty much stays with Jameson, and nothing's wrong with that. You like what you like. If that's what you want to drink, it's fine. But I told him, I said, one day I'll have to pour him some drinks and let him go through just, the Redbreast, just to expand his palate. But I go, you know what? There are people that just haven't got into this world yet or haven't experienced this world of Irish whiskey and how delicious it can be. So if your preference is bourbon, pour yourself a bourbon. If it's an American single malt, pour yourself American single malt. I said, if it's Scotch, pour yourself a Scotch. What difference does it make? It's just synonymous to have a glass of Guinness or something like that, or Irish whiskey just because of the day. But if you prefer beer, like Jacob does, he's having beer today, then knock your socks off. You continue to drink what you want to drink today. It's on you. You want to drink water. By God, I have it. I'm hydrating as I'm sipping. So Doesn't make a difference. It's just, it is what it is. I don't know how else to explain it. You have what you want to have today. It is all on you. Period. Excuse me. Do have a little sinus drainage today. Don't know what's going on here, but we've had a lot of wind, and then we've had a couple days of rain. Then the sun tries to peek out of the clouds, but even though it's in the 60s, it is still cool when that wind blows here. I was out there for a little bit today, and when the sun was out, it's nice. But when that wind would blow, it's quite cold. And I was like, man, gotta get a pullover or something on. So anyway, so I know what a few of you have, but I may have missed it. What have you poured this afternoon? What is in your glass? What are you having? 9 different expressions around them all. Irish whiskey in general does not receive the recognition and respect it deserves. And that's true. It doesn't. And that goes back to what I was saying, Eric, is just some people have never truly gotten into Irish. And before I moved, well, I've always was in the Scotch world. That was my first foray into whiskey a long time ago. And then I kind of backed away and got into bourbon. And when bourbon really was just really couldn't find what I call the good stuff or what I was looking for, other than your normal everyday shelfers, I turned around and went back to Scotch and rekindled my affection to that spirit and just kept moving. Well, that's what I explained to my friend. I go, I'll pour you 5 or 6 different ones and take you on this journey and put a Jameson in there. And I'm telling you, and not that there's anything wrong with the Jamesons, you will push that aside and go with one of these in a heartbeat. It's just, it's like I said, it's not that Jameson is bad. I'm not knocking Jameson. I have a bottle of it floating around here somewhere, but I honestly couldn't tell you where it is because I just don't go to it often. But when I do, sometimes it's my drink of choice for a day or two, and I'll have a couple glasses out of it. But anyway, it is something that's overlooked. And one of these days I'll get into the American single malts are something that's overlooked in whiskey. I feel I'm not a connoisseur by any means of it. I've had very small tastes of American malts, but guess what? They all have a place and they all have a time, and you might as well try it, particularly if you get somebody that will, get you one. Why not have it? Why not experience that? It's wonderful. And oh yeah, got a text on my phone and then, oops, wrong shoulder. Let me help you here. Yes, over my shoulder, you do see 2, oops, turn my head. I forgot, opposite way. And I've done this more than twice. Yes, those are private barrel smoke wagons that I was lucky enough to pick up. So it's like, ooh-wee, and I've already been into them. And let me tell you, I've had both of them. The one I've opened, wow, it is beautiful. It is a wonderful, sweet, spicy vanilla, just lovely little drop there. There, you better picture of them sitting over my shoulder. And it really is. I mean, they're scarce. Aaron doesn't do many of these picks, but he had released some barrels, and a couple of stores around here were lucky enough to pick up a couple of those. And I just happened to be at the right place at the right time. And of course, absconded with a couple. And yes, like I said, had a sample of both of those that are sitting up there behind me right now. And absolutely amazing. And you know what, John, you're talking about green spot. Goodness. I didn't have the heart to take my blue spot away from the parents' house when I was in Yuma this week because I've been off all week. I took this whole week off since it's spring break here in Vegas. But anyway, went down there and I didn't dare take that because it is quite well liked down there. So I just leave it. I took 4 or 5 bottles of wine and trying to think. Yeah, I was just like, I don't know if I had whiskey. Yes, I did. Because I shared a taste with another person out of, God, I think it's that first bottle where my thumb is. I cracked it while I was down there and shared it with somebody. And they were just amazed by it and said, oh my God, that's wonderful. So anyway, sorry, didn't mean to digress and get off onto American whiskeys and all that stuff. But I thought about that Blue Spot when I was down there to bring it home. But I'm like, nope, I'll leave it there for Mom. She can have what she wants. That's for sure. I have a very special uncut unfiltered that is so good. Still baby low. Let me tell you what, I have one that's up here, Jeff, on the shelf up there towards the back. Batch 30, I think it is. 35 maybe. It's one of the first big, batches when they came out. And I can't remember if I had the number before it, the number after it. I just haven't opened that one. I haven't opened that one. The taste on that uncut, unfiltered at that particular time was magnificent. I mean, but I just haven't opened that because I should just go and buy a current batch. I don't know, they're 140, 150 batch number now. I don't even know. I was pretty much up on it. It could be, I don't know. But anyway, I am like, I should just go ahead and do it and then get another of the small batch. Because I have probably 8, 10 of the straight bourbons because it's like a definite go-to up on the bar. And then, of course, a few there. But anyway, speaking of Aaron, since I am, and then I'll get off on that topic. Did you see the video that Aaron had done talking about the secondary market and how some of his bottles are going for ridiculous prices? And he pretty much said, and I'll paraphrase, they're not worth it, as in what they're asking. They're, let's just say $50 bottles. I'm learning because especially for like, it's not called the Younger anymore, and I forget what it's called now, but he rebranded it for a purpose. But it's meant to be a step up from the standard juice, and it is the standard juice. It's just at a higher proof. And then you would move up to the small batch, and then, of course, uncut, unfiltered. But yeah, he come out and said, man, it is just ridiculous. I mean, it's your money. Again, I'm using my own words, but he come out and said that, which nice of him to say, hey, thank you. Wish it was worth the price, but they're basically $50, $60 bottles. Don't pay more than that for those bottles. And the straight bourbon retails about $34. So yeah, I mean, it gets to be highway robbery on some of this stuff. Let me just say hello. Cheers, sir. Appreciate you being here. Oh, I did see another person that I have got to always single him out. Cheers, man. How are you today? Let me raise a glass to you. Cheers. And then, of course, my other buddy right there, Mr. Reynolds. Cheers. Happy St. Patrick's Day to you. You get a couple sips in there. I'm behind. I'm like Cheech now. Here's somebody I haven't got to chat to in a while. His good old Cheech. Oh, my goodness, my goodness, my goodness. What's up, sir? So glad you got up from your nap to join us. I feel honored. Cheers, man. Thank you, Hanging, for coming over here, saying hi, smashing that like button. It's always good to see you. And I swear, I'm going to get down to where you are, and we're going to have to meet up and have a meal and a drink. I know I was down in Yuma here this past week, but it's about a 5-hour drive from Yuma back up to you. We actually talked about going to Tombstone, and but I was like, I just don't want to drive up, spend the night, turn around, drive back, to spend the night, to turn around, drive back here. I said, one way is 300 plus miles. So anyway, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to come down and I'm going to torment you and Z-Man just because. Thank you, Sugar Kitty. It went quicker than me. Desert Colt. I'd say it's Colt something, not Colt 45. That's a beer, and that's a sidearm of mine. But it wasn't that. Desert Colt is what the younger is called now, and he wanted to make a little bit of a separation between it, and so now it's called that. So still the same juice, the younger Desert Colt. Nothing has changed. Thank you. Appreciate that, Jeff. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's going to be a good time. I sent you an email there, old man. But my brother from another mother there, Rob. Cheers, brother. Always good to see you. We had a chance to catch up for a little bit Friday night. It was nice getting to sit back and have a dram with him and just shoot the shit, offline basically, still on a chat like this, but we were not live. But it was just nice to sit back and like I said, shoot the shit just because we could. And it's nice to have those kind of chats. We're just very informal and what the hell. Yes, I know. But, they wouldn't know me from an actual tombstone. So it's all right. It's all right. Yes. Yeah, it pretty much is the same bottle. I do believe the logo in the center has changed to represent the new name. I personally haven't looked at it. I just know it's out there, and I have an original bottle. When I say original bottle, the younger, sitting up there, but I've had a taste out of it, and it is good. It is good. I like the higher proof, but you know what? For the few more bucks and the higher proof it is, I think it's 114 on the younger or the oh my goodness, this is what happens when you get older. The Colt, oh crap. Desert Colt. God, I was gonna say, I kept wanting to say Desert Jewel, and it's not Desert Jewel, but Desert Colt. I like the standard, but I've got the other one, and don't know when I'll open it. But if somebody popped up and said they'd really want to try it, I'd pop the top off that and say, you got to at least drink 2 drams out of it, not just one. Your father actually grew up in Tombstone. Well, there you go. That always makes for something exciting. My dad got a picture of him standing on the corner in Winslow, Arizona. You know the song? Yeah. So he's who's blowing up my sorry, just looking to see who's blowing up my wrist there because my phone is silenced, but it's other people asking me some other questions. Desert rules are really old. Yes, they are. But that is what was stuck in my head. That was stuck in my head. Ah, there you go. There you go. It is. But, it was funny when the picture got taken of him, when he saw it, he didn't make the connection at that exact moment. It took a couple of seconds for his mind to play the reel to reel back, and there it goes. He went, but it was just a moment that he was standing there. And so Mom was on the other side and she snapped a picture because she realized what it was. And the flatbed Ford, I do believe, is there on the corner. So anyway, and I'm like, Well, I'd like to do that. I've got opportunities. It's just coordinating the movement once I'm over there and doing this and that. But anyhow, let me have this sip because I keep looking at this other little delicacy I've got over here, and I want to get into that. Mm, mm. And then I got people wanting to know if I'm opening the stream up, and yes, I will. If anybody wants to jump in, I shall do that. But let me get this little monologue done. I've kind of beat my gums here for a bit longer than I on anticipated. But excuse me. God, I got to get another sip of this. Okay. Wow, that's good. So I'm going to change it up here. Let me put my Glen cover on this Deathless Dogs glass. And look, just happens to be a Whiskey Encore Glen cover. So let me just set that right over here. Do not hit that with anything. That being said, I have seen these before with other distillers, other releases. And interesting, but this one, because of the name on it and where it came from, I went, ha. So it's an independent bottler, but I couldn't pass this up, particularly for the price. And I expect it to have a little dusty-esque to it, but I will hold this up and see if you all can. Let me get my hand out of the way there. Sorry. And this face. Let's see. Will you focus? Or are you going to focus on me? Can you all grab that and see that? It is, and it would help if I do this. I just realized something. Bang. There we go. Just add just a tad bit more light to it. The classic Klein Leash 15-year-old. The price was right. Don't know if it was something that they were just going to dump, but it was Klein Leash in 15 years old. So distilled in 97 and bottled in 12. I thought, 43 ABV. Now you're singing a song I'm starting to like. So I'm interested, and I didn't touch it. But I'm gonna crack this thing here while we're here. I know this is supposed to be 4-leaf whiskey, but I did start off with some Irish, but I said I have got to open this thing, and I have another bottle in the back that I'm not going to open right now. I am so tempted, but I have to wait for one other person to do that with. And this was such a, I just saw something terrible with a T. Terrible with a T. And you all know what it is by the way I'm staring at this thing when I twisted it. Oh, you dirty dog. Don't you tell me. Don't you tell me. I seen something terrible, and I made sure I had this thing tipped. You rotten piece of crap. Don't you do it. But I seen separation. Don't you do it. Don't you. Oh, I can see it. Okay. All right. You all think you know, right? The cork is about ready to pull off of the cap, but not at the cap, right about where it is. As I pull up on it, I could see it lifting. Whoo. You know what? It might have been hanging. Maybe that's why it was so cheap, is because the damn corks kept popping off on it. But, you son of a lover, you rotten mother. I'm keeping this well censored. But this takes just a little doings. Now I'm going to have to dig out something to put on this sucker. Rotten piece of. Oh, look at that crack. I cannot believe this. Okay. Whew. Remind me not to shove this sucker back in there. Oh, I can see the pieces around there. Lord, 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 Lord. You know, I do have extra corks. I just have to look. I cannot believe that. Yes, thank you. That's right. You know what? It looks like, but I think the Knob Creek's a little thicker, but that's okay. Exactly, Sugar Kitty. I just got to remember this is Stacie's stream. I am just filling in the time slot, so I must be good. But when I had this bottle to the side to make sure that it was well moistened, which I know it was. And as I was slowly just turning it to make sure it wasn't stuck around there, I could see it. And I don't know if you all can. Let me move it over. You going to focus? Let's just see. Are you going to focus? Or are you going to? No. But anyway, it is. I can see it. I know what I'm looking at. I can see that crack coming from my finger down towards the center as I turn it, and then it comes back up there. But it was separating. I tell you what, I was sweating for a minute there over that. I was sweating for a minute there. I thought that thing was going to pop off in there, and I was going to have to let loose with some profanity like has never been heard unless you are aboard a Navy ship. Anyway, let me pour some of this juice in here. You always need to pour a good representation. Deliciousness. Okay. I almost went to grab that damn cap. All right. We are not doing that. I'm just setting this thing down. Hey, truthfully, it is. And exactly. I was getting there. I thought that sucker was going to bust on me. But so this was produced at Klein Leash, like I said, 15-year-old, aged in a refill hogshead. So I'm getting a whiff of what smells like some sherry on there, but I'm telling you, it smells like it's got a little bit of that dustiness going on, but I don't know. I'm going to leave it sit here just a few more moments. Let it breathe a little bit. Damn, I'm still ticked off about that frickin' cork. But that's okay. It's in one piece. But that little bugger. Here, let me just show y'all. Can see if you guys can see it. Let me turn this light here a little bit. Here we go. It's just the thing there. See it right there? Now I know you see it. And man, I was watching that thing go and I'm like, oh no. And usually you're not this lucky. You all know because you've all lost corks, not just in a Scotch bottle, but a bourbon bottle in general. And it's like, and I can honestly say it's like only my second or third one out of all of this crap. Well, it's not crap, but it's figure of speech. But all of this and then out on the other side, and it's like, yeah. You know, it's funny, John. I was thinking of from Saturday Night Live, the church lady. Chuckled because I happened to see something a few days ago, a snippet of something, and it used her, made me laugh. Anyway, let me get another little sip of this. Let's let this open up. But I'm really anxious to give this Klein Leash a try. I don't know much about this particular independent bottler of this. It's imported. It's just a Spirit Imports out of Florida. I don't know anything about those, but doesn't mean that the juice isn't any good. And I'm going to see here. Just going to make sure I grabbed the correct glass and not this one, and put my little Glen cap cover over it. But have another sip of this Irish. Mm. Mm. Sorry, but it's good. I love this Irish whiskey. I think it's a good segue into it. Okay, sorry. People are like, I could send you a cork. I'm good. I've got a couple. If not, I will put out an SOS. But need be, I'm going to put some damn saran wrap on the top of that and put a rubber band around it until I come up with one. It's just not going to stay like that. And I have a decanter I can use. I have a decanter I can use if push comes to shove. But we're good. We are good. But yeah, if I don't have something that fits it, I've got plan B, and I can always send out an SOS. But you save some corks just for such an emergency, and you cross your fingers that it will work. It's just like, but then you think to yourself, geez, how long have I had that damn let it open up for 15 minutes, Anthony, per Ralphie. A minute in the glass for every year in the cask. I can do that. I can do that, Greg, for Ralphie. I can do that. That's for sure. So let me redo this here so that I don't forget. Let me just get this cleared out of here. Set this right. No, Anthony, get what you're doing here. Here we go. Bingo. All right. We're going to let that go for just a little bit more. But yeah, I'll let it open up. Don't you worry. We'll give it a little swirl here in the glass right now, just to let it do its thing. Let it do its thing. But hold on here in the meantime. Let me just do a little housekeeping. Let's just see if this will pop up. Oh, you son of a gun. Here we go. Do not tell me that. Bing. Okay. Pop that up. Let's just see. Okay, good. I just started getting the little thing. I was watching the stream and watching the up and down rate, and it started to go up and down literally, but not in a good way. And I'm like, oh, let me look at something here. Now we're okay. We're doing fine here. But I wasn't quite sure if it was going to stick or not there for a second there. It happens. That's why it's called live stream, people. It's just how this thing goes. Oh my God, I absolutely loathe some of these features that get in the way here. But anyhow, the other one that I'm waiting for. Hey, John.
Cheers.
The other one that I'm going to open, but not today because I have to wait for somebody else. And I had to wait for this. Is this one, the Highland Park full volume. That was hand delivered to me a few weeks ago.
I just poured out the last 1 ounce of that. I had to send as a sample to someone.
Yes, I got this and was excited to get it. And I actually knew that I've had it for some time. It was just getting it here. But it arrived very nicely. Nice. I mean, very well sealed. And looking forward to this. It was distilled in 99 and bottled in 2017.
Yep.
Coming in at 47.2 ABV. So I will be unwrapping this literally here as soon as I can get Whiskey Uncensored
And that is all bourbon cask, so it's really pale compared to your regular Highland Park.
And as soon as I can get him and me on the same page, it'll happen. It'll happen. It's only still available if you can find it somewhere sitting on a shelf covered in dust. That's how I found it.
Yeah, I'd love to get another one because it's
Okay,
so
not
different than
me.
the Highland Park you're used to.
Yeah, let me just say, I physically didn't find it. Bourbon did for me. So he has the brother or sister or second cousin to it. So I told him I wouldn't open it until he's with me and he opens his. So
Nice.
I have to get with him so we can put that together. But yeah, I showed that to somebody else, Peter, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, where did you get that? I want one." And I go, "Well," I said, "Did you ever try to pull teeth out of a chicken?" I said, "If you can get one out of a chicken, you bring it to me.
Yeah.
I'd give you 2 ounces out of that bottle." Well, they still haven't brought me that chicken tooth because I'd wear it proudly. That's for sure. All right, let me just see here what we got. Okay. We've got 6 more minutes to let this thing just open up here a little more. Let me just, oh, it smells nice. It smells so nice. But there's a bottle in my bar covered in dust, half full, enough to get at it. Yeah. Yeah. And that's what people have told me. They go, "You'll want to be nice to that bottle for a period of time because you will really like it." It's not, and that's what they said, just what you said, John. It's not going to be like the Highland Park you have.
Yep.
You know, it's different. This is not that it's bad, but you will taste the difference in there. And I'm
I got
like,
that as a Christmas present when it came out for my brother, and I had no idea it existed. So this would have been 2018. I got that bottle, and I only killed it maybe 4 or 5 months ago.
well, yeah,
And
because
I sipped that.
you milk that thing. It is good. But
I mean,
yeah, you know, Bourbon just on one of his hunts, you know, came up with it.
Mhm.
I wait till I take that wrapper off there. I'm sure it's
Right.
going to be dusty in there. Yeah, it is.
Mhm.
And so, like I said, I'm not going to open it until he's available. Although I really want to,
Yep.
but I'm gonna sit back a bit and all right.
It's such a true example of what different casks can do to the same distillate in Scotland.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, without a doubt. Without a doubt. And like I said, that's why I'm looking forward to it. And I was actually talking about the 15-year-old a couple of days ago because
Yeah.
someone asked me about the Highland Park 12. I said, absolutely. It's perfect. If you like that, then spend a few extra dollars and get the 15. I said, it's called the Viking Heart right now, but eventually that whole motif is going away. It just depends.
Is it just going to be a straight Highland Park 15? No, it's not going to
Yeah,
get any.
like it was before they renamed
Yeah.
it. I mean, but at least that's my understanding. So
I mean, I
don't
did like the etching on the newer bottles, though.
pardon me.
I did like the etching or the design on the newer
Well,
bottle.
yeah,
I
I
like, but
agree.
I don't want to see Viking Honor, Viking Pride. I'm a
Viking
Green Bay
Horror.
fan. I don't want to see anything that says Viking on it. So, you know that.
Yeah, but you know what? Like I said, if it keeps the price the same without going up, because I know it has to cost them a little more for the ceramic bottles like that on some of these. So then you know what? Okay, I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
And just go back to the classic 15, you know, I Highland Park Classic 15, Highland Park Classic 12,
Yeah.
18, whatever. I don't give a shit.
And the local large chain grocery store here, it's either 45 or 49 for the 12 right now.
I was gonna say it's 50 bucks or
It's a
less for the
steal.
12.
I mean,
And so when they asked me about it, I said, you know what, it's great. And I always suggest people to go to their base core expression, be it a 10-year, a 12-year, whatever it is. I said,
Yeah.
if you're thinking about exploring into those particular brands, I said, if you like what you've experienced in their core expression, their this is it, this starts it off, and then everything takes off from there between flavor, age, proof, because sometimes you'll get a higher proof. I said, but if you like the standard profile, you enjoy it, then go ahead and spend the money for the 15 and go down the line. So,
Yeah.
but that's how it came to be as we got into that. And I said, I even have a backup of the Viking Heart in that ceramic bottle. I just particularly like it. I like that juice that's in there. It's a good, consistent, straight drinking good scotch. It is really good. I mean, it ranks up there. If the damn PX Sherry finishing these Redbreasts weren't, let's just say 125, $150, depending. I
Yeah.
would tell people you need to be drinking this on a regular basis, but holy smokes.
Yeah. It's
The
my red.
price
I was
went
going
from,
to send a sample of the Redbreast PX. I got about that much left.
and well, that's just it. The price of that just has shot up. It was under $100.
There was a
Say a
store
little over a
here
year ago.
when the Tawny Port came out. There was a local store that wanted $195 for it. I'm like, are you insane?
They are, but that's just it. Somebody's going to come in and lay that $200 down there and walk
Yeah.
out, like they're walking in tall cotton on the 4th of July.
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean, be happy. But us are going to look at it and go, yeah, that's pretty good, but not at that price. Not at that price.
Half that price,
It'll
maybe,
be for
but
somebody, but it's not going to be for me. It's not going to be for you. It's just not going to. It's just not. It's just not going to happen. Big Megas was so big. I had to think there. What? Yeah, exactly. But here we go. And you know what? Let me say this: the people that have had it said it's okay, but it wasn't stellar.
I have one of my local buddies that actually paid that price for it. I'm going to go to his house and have a pour of it.
Yeah.
So I don't have to spend.
But they said it's good. It's just not.
Yeah.
No. Basically, it's good. It's up to you if you want to buy it. But they're glad that they actually got some before they had to flip a coin if they were going to pay the price and buy it. And it just wasn't something that they wanted to have. Actually put on your bar. Their bar. The Klein leash was matured in a bourbon hogshead. Should get the traditional Klein leash notes in the bottle, maybe citrus, waxy, vanilla, spicy oak. On the nose, I'll give you the vanilla. I'll give you the vanilla right then and there on the nose. There was something I couldn't put my finger on, and I'll say on the nose, waxiness, something that I have not really experienced, but maybe one other time. So it's very foreign to me. So yeah, that might be, that's a good thing to know, Greg. Citrus, I could pick that out. Spicy oak. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't, it smelled sweet. I got the sweet bread note on there, just like the maltiness and sweetness from that. The vanilla for sure, but there was a peculiar little nuance to it, essence, let's say, that I wasn't sure what that was in there. And okay, I'm good with that.
I've got a 8-year-old that's from SMWS that's first fill bourbon. And literally it's the traditional Klein leash. You just dialed up at a higher proof. It's wonderful.
I haven't had the Highland Park Fire. Is that the 18-year-old?
No, that was just, it was just that was
Or was that just
Viking.
is that the NAS?
I think the red wasn't there a fire and ice, and I think the fire was in like a red triangular pyramid bottle.
Yeah. Yeah, that they're charging a couple $100 for.
Yeah, I never had those.
That's what I'm thinking he's talking about. Am I right about that hanging? Is that the one you're talking about? That's in this special little zigzaggy type triangle thing that they're charging about $300 for? Okay, the fire is 15.
Okay.
15, 18. Yeah. I knew it was around there, but I think that's when I said, because I saw it and my wife says, "Oh, that you might like that." And I says, "Yeah, but and yeah, the more I think about it now, yeah, it is a 15." And I said, "Well, I've got the 15 in the Viking Heart." I go, "15 is 15. What did they do to this? Stick their pinky finger in there and stir it around? You know,
Well,
why
look
am I
who
going to
owns
give them
them though.
another $200 over
Yeah.
top of it? I got
I
to get a
mean,
taste before I'll pull the trigger on that."
look what other brand their parent company owns. If you want to look at that, I mean that's Edrington, so they own McAllen too. So
Okay, Jeff just confirmed everything. We're good. We're on the right track. It was 15-year, and it's exactly what all three of us are talking about. Yep. Yep, 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 yep. Perfect. Perfect. Here it is. Yep. We're bought about $400. Yep. Yeah, I was like, no. When I have the
yeah.
15-year Viking Heart, and that's what I said to my wife, it's a nice looking bottle. It's got some nice stuff around it, but I go, it's not worth that extra money, not
Mhm.
unless I get a pour. And then still, if I get a pour, uh, it really better be damn good. Damn good. All right. So I've been over the 15-minute mark. Stop the watch. Get that off of there. Get that off of there. Clear the palate. And we're going to take a sip of this baby. All righty. Oh, here we go. Got to get a little scotch in, people. Got to get a little scotch in. Okay. Let's try this again. Oh yeah. Waxy. Definitely. I'll give you that. We had that Glen cap on there. Definitely a little waxy. Vanilla. Sweet malt. Maybe a little honey, heather. I'll give you some type of a fruit or citrus zest. That's what I'll give you on that one. Yeah, that I'm going to say that Greg has got it there when he gave me that waxy type of a note.
Mhm.
But it's still nice. But in like I said, that was a little bit of that funkiness that I
Mhm.
port seasoned cask.
They're
Yeah,
charging $400 for one that was in a port season cast. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. I'm like, yep, nope.
Well, I mean, it is the same company that owns McAllen, so yeah.
Well, enough said.
Yeah. Marketing.
Klein leash, wax on, wax off. Worm tub. Uh-uh. Look for indies. Yeah. I've heard that before, and it might have been from you when I last really got into the Highland Park series when Greg dropped off some fine uh, samples to me. Yes, it is. That's why I said, hey, I can't pass this up. And you're like, yeah. That's why I immediately sent it to you. Exactly. It's not worth it. All
Mhm.
right, yeah, I just got a big whiff of something like a waxiness to it that almost reminded me of, I hate to say lipstick, but that type of a smell.
So,
Oh yeah. I'm fine with it if it's good. So here we go. Now that's nice. Sweet, fruity, little interesting note that I'm not sure of how to define it on the retro hail, but I'll need a oh my gosh, I forgot about that. And I'm thinking, old penny candy plastic. Yes. Yes. I will definitely say that's a bingo. It's not bad, but I just there's just the nose. I was like, it's almost like a lipstick to me. There you go. I don't know where Jeff comes up with some of these memories, but it's good.
maybe we don't
It's
ask.
good. Honestly, it is good because I remember it too. Like, oh yeah.
I don't remember wax cola bottles. I do remember the soda caps, though, not the wax ones. But
It's a little on the thinner side than I thought it would be, but definitely a little oak. So I got that because I get that little bit of uh like a hmm, it doesn't last long. It's there and gone, but a little bit of the, I don't want to call it sour because that's really not what it is, but it's the best way for me to describe it. When I get the oakiness out of it, it gives me that little bit there on the back of the palate and kind of rolls its way mid palate. For that, I'm like, that's true. And I'm a certain age. That's for sure. Oh, Letty was 100 stories all day long. I'll tell you one day in person. you know, I could remember those stores on the corner where I grew up. Almost like every other block had a corner store. And until I really, as I got older and realized those were things literally going away because your little AM, PM mini markets and 7-Eleven started
mhm.
popping up. And I didn't know this, but my uh, friends told me that a couple of the stores had one or two gas islands right there on the sidewalk. You didn't have a special island. You just pulled up and got some
Yeah.
gas. It was right there on the sidewalk, and you filled up your car, and you went in
Mhm.
and paid it, or they came out. I'm like,
Small
I
town grocery store. Parents would take you in there, and parents ordering summer sausage, and the butcher puts off like 3 or 4 slices for my brother and I. Passes it over the counter, and
yeah, yeah. But this is actually quite nice. When this opens up a little bit more and really uh, progresses. But what I think I'm going to do, this isn't This isn't a high ABV, but I'm going to put just a smidge of water in here and see what happens. Let me get my little dropper. I'm going to do that. I should have brought some either distilled water or something in there, but hold on, I have it. So I'm going to get it. I shall be right back. Hold the fort down, John, but I'm going to add a little water to this sucker. A little water is going to make it, I think.
Nice.
We'll try it.
Oh, Eric Gunderson, I see you got a 2th glass too. Cheers. James Morgan, for now, I'm on the green spot, Chateau Montelena. Cheers, Ben.
Okay. Let me get my distilled water. You know, I watch these two guys stream from time to time. I don't know if you ever heard of them. It's Top Shelf something. You know, they do these whiskey reviews.
Yeah.
Yeah, those two. Anyway, do you ever watch them pour water in their whiskey? I swear they drowned it. You know, I've had to talk to them a couple times. So I have this very special device here that will help me scientifically control the amount of water that goes into, and here it is. It's in here, into my glass.
I'm guilty as charged as I take the bottle like this and I just pour whatever I think is right.
I can't do that with such a small drop. And so just show everybody when I say it's just a drop of water in here, I want to make sure people know it's a drop of water that I'm putting in here. I just don't know why they dump like a capful in there. I don't know. It's like some other guy I see who takes teaspoons and
Ralphie with the spoon. Yeah.
I'm not mentioning anybody's by name, but
I've seen him do it enough, though.
Yeah. I bought a proper crystal dropper. Mike broke. I know. You told me that. I laughed. You can't have anything nice on these shows sometimes. Isn't that right, Dustin? No matter what you do. So I've literally added a drop of water to the whiskey. And I'd rather start with one and then add one more as we go through and see how just a smidge of water changes things. Everybody knows at one time I was really dead set against it. Natural gas, did you have bean burritos, or are you talking about like natural gas that comes into the house? Because that's serious. Yeah, I'm glad you got that taken care of. But I did not open that bottle because you weren't around, just so you know. And I told them, I said, the only way that other bottle's getting opened is when you and I are on the same stream. So one drop of water in here. Okay. I believe that little drop took some of that oakiness away.
Cheers, Donald.
All right, we're going to do another little experiment because it seemed to be in the right neighborhood that we shall now add another drop of water. So that's 2 officially into the Glen here. Like I said, I don't like them other channels. Oh yeah, I do. I'll wait. It could be tomorrow. It could be next week. It could be next month. I'll wait. I will wait. Be just like, uh, uh, just like one of them fat people on an Atkins diet waiting to get a bag of Ritz. I'll be waiting. All right, 2 drops. A little more pronounced on the malt. A little more pronounced on the malt, a little more vanilla on the nose with 2 drops of water. Now we may do a whole thing on that Long Branch, but then I would get arrested for littering and probably an EPA violation. Tell them, Sugar Kitty. Well, you know what? I will say this. Just sit back here and think about it a moment after I take another sip here, just to be sure before I put my foot in my mouth. Not that I haven't done that 3 or 4 times before.
Yeah, Greg, exactly. I mean, we are in shape. Round is a shape technically.
So's portly. Exactly.
I'm not fat. I'm big boned.
I'm just portly. So I think I've told this story before, but I had a real good friend. He passed away in like 08, 09, but we worked together for many years, and he'd come over my house at least once a week with, when I say 1-inch thick ribeyes or porterhouse or something like that, and we'd throw them on the grill on a Sunday night, and we would just sit in the backyard sipping on whiskey after we ate the steaks and smoke a cigar and bullshit, just normal stuff. Anyway, we go down and he needed to get a blazer. But his problem was he didn't like the fit on the side. And
the jacket. Okay.
The jacket, yeah.
Not the truck.
The shirt, the shoulders fit everywhere else, but it was just a little tight on the side. And the guy come around and he was like, well, I know what your problem is. You have the wrong jacket. And I forget what he said. Well, I'm a 44 regular or something like that. I can't remember what the size it was. He says, well, you may be, but you need portly. And I turned and looked at him and I said, he needs what? And Dennis, his shoulders started to shake because he was laughing. And the guy says, well, yeah, you're portly. And I said, what? Because I don't think I ever at that time heard that specific term used towards somebody in a haberdasher. And I said, he's portly? Well, yeah, broad shoulders, comes down to the chest, and then you kind of just flare out there in the middle and you narrow back down. And that's portly. I couldn't contain it no more. Just the laughter. And
is that
of course,
portly or pear-shaped?
Well, but I think it was the politically correct term is portly. Okay. But anyway, I could not stop laughing. That was like the time I told him and swore up and down that they didn't make Sansa belts anymore. And I told him, I said, you know what? You prove to me there's a store here in Las Vegas that makes Sansa belts. I will buy a pair and sport them at work. Well, he made me a liar, took me downtown to a store and showed me racks of Sansa belts. I chuckled like a hyena. And he said, pick it out because you're going to wear them. Well, by God, I picked out a pair of Sansa belts, some of the finest polyester beltless pants you could find on the rack. Got to have been from 1972, I swear. But I bought them things and I wore them to work with a golf shirt and some black shoes. I wish I had white to go with it, but I didn't have a pair of white shoes or even black and whites at the time. I wore that in. Dude, you'd have thought I give him laughing gas. He busted out laughing, and he had to point out to everybody he saw, and those are the best pair of Sansa belts you ever seen on a guy everywhere we walked to. Serious. But it was just funny because sometimes you eat your own words when you say, I bet you they don't make that shit anymore.
Did they ask you what course you were flying that afternoon?
What's that?
Did they ask what course you were flying that afternoon?
Oh, I tell you what. Well, I did wear them on the golf course after that.
Nice.
They fit right in perfectly. They fit right in, especially with the colored shoes that I had. They weren't they were a tan and white or something like that. I can't remember. It's been so long ago, and I've
slept. Johnny Miller of the mid-'70s.
Oh yeah. Well, but we still had the metal cleats at that time in there. And when they told me that I couldn't wear metal cleats on the golf course anymore, I'm still going to keep it clean. But I told them, I'm not buying another pair of damn golf shoes for a game that frustrates the bejesus out of me. And I end up losing like $5 every freaking time we play. I mean, we were big spenders. I bet you $1 you ain't going to make it near the pin and blah, 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 stuff like that. Or a par 3, I bet you're not going to make it on closest to the pin. The 4 of us that were there will all pitch in $1. Whoever got closest to the pin on a par 3, it was never anything big. But once in a while, somebody said, I bet you $5 you freaking do it. You chip that sucker and it only rolls 5 feet. Well, the minute someone gives you that, it generally happens. But that was it. But like I said, oh my God, he just killed me. Polyester Sansa belt was the official sponsor of the PGA Tour in the 60s and 70s. I'm telling you what, I think these were leftovers, and I could have actually walked onto the PGA course if they'd have seen me and them back then. They would have thought I was a golfer. They thought I was probably right up there with old Jack Nicklaus himself. I can't golf like him, but they would have thought the way I dressed, I had to have been somebody impotent.
Or you could have walked on the course and drank like they do at the Phoenix Open.
I could have.
You've seen that? It was a disaster this year.
Wow. Hey, 2 drops and about 10 minutes of bullshitting. Oh, I forgot. Family Channel. Sorry, Jeff. Censor that out, would you? Anyway, 2 drops was nice in this. I just took a sip, kind of forgot myself. And I was like, oh yeah. Yeah, 2 drops was nice on this. It got a little fruitier, got a little sweeter. Vanilla more prominent on the nose. But a little, just literally 2 drops of water was niceness. Because, it's only 43 ABV, so I really don't want to drown out all the proof on it. But 2 drops of water was nice in this. Yeah, that turned out to be really nice. Golf equals tall boys still every other hole.
I think by the turn, I'd be like, the hell with it.
Exactly.
Yeah, that Waste Management, that just turned into a show this year.
Yeah,
they had to cut off beer sales.
I can't understand it, truthfully, but anyway.
It'd be fun to go to once.
there used to be this Muni course when I was in college that we would go to on a Friday afternoon or something like that. Kind of, we were done with school and it was cheaper, especially after 12. And so if we were done by 11, we went down to the bar just off of campus because they always had a lunch special, like a hot dog and a beer for $2. Probably was Budweiser. I can't remember, but at that end, you really didn't care, especially for $2 and you got a hot dog and a beer. And anyway, so you'd get a couple of those before you headed to the golf course because there they wanted $4 for a beer or $5 when you were in college. For a beer, $5 that I'm paying $1.50, $2 for at the bar on a Friday night at 11 o'clock. The same beer on, yeah, forget it. But anyway,
I'll drink swill if it's cheap. But
yeah, but
for free.
We had flasks like this one we would bring in. Not that anyone ever saw it, but yeah, we had big ass flasks like this, and we would bring, well, not literally that big, but we had something, that's for sure, to get us through 9 holes. Hey, Dave. Cheers, man. Thanks.
You didn't have the golf bag like Al Cervic did in Caddyshack, did you?
What's that?
You didn't have the golf bag like Al Cervic had in Caddyshack, did you?
No. It would have been nice. But there was a lot of things in somebody's bag sometimes, cans and bottles, and yeah. They never looked at them, when you went in there. And we had the carts, so we pulled the bags with us. So what the heck? Well, it happens.
Mm-hmm.
It used to be every contractor had a tournament. COVID killed them forever.
Yeah, a lot of the big companies like Honda pulled out now.
Yeah. But you know what? I don't know. Maybe it was better. As in when I say better for them because they saved money. But I think they got a lot of more brand recognition because, when you sponsor something like that and your cars are everywhere, like Cadillac.
Mm-hmm.
Who didn't drive a Cadillac?
Or just a week or two ago, the tournament in Miami was called a Honda for years and years. And I have no idea the name of the sponsor it was. No. Cheers, Jim. Happy St. Pat's.
Hey, cheers, brother. Well, let me just say this. Son of a bitch. This thing turned out to be all right. Other than the cork breaking.
Well, I'm going to say 15-year-old English is never going to be bad, but
no, I especially for the money.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't pass it up. I couldn't pass it up. Like I said, it was $50. Yeah, I couldn't pass it up. I had to grab that sucker. Oh yeah. She'll shape up that show. She's gonna be on Livewire. There'll be some real class to that show for the first time. Other than when Women of Whiskey was on there.
I mean, that is a low bar, so that.
Well, the show's low bar, but they never claimed to be anything else, right?
Sure.
They'll tell you. They're a pretty big deal in small circles. Yeah, they are. They're a pretty big deal. But yeah, she's going to be on there, and it was just funny. People were sending me a text, "Hey, you going to go on in the afternoon? You going to go on in the afternoon?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?" Well, Stacie, and I'm thinking, it's St. Patrick's Day. This is her day. This is her day to shine. She is going to have like an extravaganza. But I kept not seeing
her husband got a rough Monday, probably. But
yeah, well, I didn't see her thumbnail. And so I'm just like, hey, hope you're having a good St. Patty's Day. By the way, are you going live or something like that? And blah, 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 blah. Because I'm going to follow you is what I think I'm going to do tonight. And then people were saying, hey, no, she's going to be, I'm getting the other texts because it wasn't making sense about Livewire. So then when I was on Scotch Down Under talking to Kim, he said, no, Mike was here and said that she's going to be on his stream. I'm like, what? So that's when I had to get a clarification and confirm everything, because sometimes people hear bits and pieces and she might be doing it, but not tonight. I figured it's St. Patty's Day. It's her day. She talks about everything leading up to it and the fairs and so on and so forth. And I'm like, okay. And she said, no. And I said, all right, let me hold the spot down for, a couple of hours and then give people a little break before Livewire so they can hit the head or throw down some corned beef hash and get ready for Livewire. Yeah. Yes.
Apparently, according to Mike on Ken's stream this morning, apparently Donald is in the thumbnail somewhere, but I didn't go back and look.
Oh, Donald is? I didn't see it.
I was on there at the same. I was in chat talking to Mike this morning.
Oh, okay.
When he was on screen, he said Donald is in the thumbnail somewhere.
Yeah, it's funny you should say that, Sugar Kitty, because when I picked this up at Liquor Lineup 2 here in Las Vegas, someone was in there and said that the Distiller's Edition on the Klein Leash, it was just okay, but definitely not worth the money. I forgot about that until you talked about that just now. The better value, if this turned out to be good, would be this, particularly 15-year, because the distillery edition, if I'm not mistaken, the one they released is an NAS, but it's, I don't know, 50 something ABV. I want to say 52. I could be wrong, but I know it's not 46. So but anyway,
that's in the same ballpark as the Game of Thrones model then too.
Yeah. She'll be on Livewire tonight. Yes, she will. Yes, she will. They'd rather have somebody that's going to add a lot more class than somebody like us three, either John, you, Jim, or me on Livewire. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. That's right. I did see that. There is a Yoda in the thumbnail. Yes. Yeah. Yoda literally is in the thumbnail. And when I say Yoda, Star Wars Yoda, but that's right. When he said it, I'm like, yeah, I don't remember seeing Donald's picture in there. I got the inference now.
Okay.
It went over my head for a minute.
Yeah, I just went off of what Mike said. I haven't gone back to look at it.
Yeah. Well, that's when she confirmed it. I just happened to pop on and saw him his thumbnail. I'm like, oh, okay. So that's why you all are stuck with me for a little while longer here. So sorry, but eventually I'll go and throw some steaks on the grill here this afternoon and then transition over to Livewire for a little bit and see how the other half is living. But yeah, I just figured, what the heck? Let's keep things going, but give people a little intermission so they can stuff their pie holes and get ready for the next shit show. Oh, forgot Family Channel. Edit that out, Jeff. Edit that out. We don't want to say.
Oh, now I see the thumbnail now. Okay.
Yeah. Right in the left corner towards the bottom.
Yeah. I was going to say too, you got to be careful with the word transition now too. That.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Got to be careful with that stuff. But anyway, yeah, this is going to be a nice bottle. It's dead, not live. Well, was it Sunday? Shane was running the roost. I
Hmm.
do believe he started it up Sunday. I was out and about, but I got the pop-up, and then I just kind of tuned in and loosely watched as I was traveling. And Shane was on there. I know Greg was on there. Slapshot. I'm trying to remember who else was in there. You were there. Yeah. I was just going to say you were there, right? Yeah.
Hmm.
Yep. And I actually talked to Mike. I forgot that he was in Nashville. I talked to him when he was in Nashville. So I had to call him and ask him a question. So, and I said, oh, shit, that's right. I forgot you're in Nashville. So he was with a couple of people. Drifting Drams was there. And so, yeah, he was having a good time because he had to be there for a couple of days for work. So I guess he left Sunday, but I don't remember. I don't remember when he left there. But anyway. Oh, man. Oh, okay. So this is good. And I've got a little bit of this, but I'm not going to finish that Irish right now. I'm going to finish this and then have another pour of, I don't know. I really want my writer's tears, but that conviction is calling my name. Mm-mm-mm.
Yeah, he posted a link earlier, Jim. I don't think he pinned it though. It was just in chat.
What's the matter?
Um,
Jim?
yeah, he
Yeah,
was
it
looking
was.
for a link.
I'll tell him just to pay attention here. Oops. Pay attention there. You'll see. Jim. There you are, Jim. No, it's not. It's right underneath your comment. Just take a look. There. So, yeah, and don't forget, smash that like button, everybody. There. Right this minute. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. So there you go. Now you're taken care of, Jim. I don't want to hear that it's not there. It's there. But yeah, it wasn't. I couldn't pin it. It was being obstinate, but I put it up a couple of times, and for people who wanted to pop on to take advantage of it and say, "Hey." But I told my wife to take the steaks out of the fridge here in about a couple more minutes, season them up because I like to leave them out for about 30 minutes. They never come to room temperature, but I don't want them cold when I throw them on the grill, as in out of the refrigerator. But I don't know if any of you ever tried this, but I have pre-seasoned them, then put them in freezer bags and thrown them in the freezer. And then come home, just pulled them out of the freezer, had the grill hot, had it on for about 15 minutes to get good and hot, make whatever we're going to do, but then throw them on the grill. They take longer, of course, because they're frozen, but cook them up that way on the grill, frozen like a brick.
Okay.
Wow. You always get a great suggestion of, if you like them this way, pink on the inside.
Yeah.
Nice.
See, mine is rare as can be.
Yeah. Yeah. Basically, just throw it on the grill, get the grill marks on it, make sure the horns aren't there, and pull it off.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, it does wonderful.
Yeah. Usually I'll season mine. I'll bring them out of the fridge and I'll give them half hour, 45 minutes on the counter before I put them on the grill.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's what I told her to do, wash off the mushrooms and
And then I throw them on, and I leave them down until blood comes out the top, and then I flip it once. And then
I go about 5, 6 minutes, 7 minutes on one side. One side. Then the other
Mhm.
side, just like you said, I look to see what it looks like on the top.
Yeah.
And it's like, I look at the amount of blood that's coming out, the juices.
Yeah, usually I
Right.
got that tip from a chef once. Usually when it's coming out the top, it's time to flip.
Mhm.
And you flip it
So
once. Yeah.
exactly. But I do my original sear a little longer. In other words, I leave it go on one
Mhm.
side a little longer than I normally would the other side because I want that nice sear. But the important thing is to get the grill hot, 400, 500 degrees when you originally throw that steak down to get that good char, that good sear on there to seal in those flavors.
So do you like what they call Pittsburgh style then?
Ugh,
The black and
I just
blue?
like I like steak, but I have made a blue cheese type sauce to pour over it. Have
Mhm.
you ever had? Oh,
Yep. I've made blue cheese butter before. That's awesome.
yes, that I was gonna say blue cheese butter. Oh my,
Um, I did one where I sauteed mushrooms too, and then
yep.
put some aged balsamic and let it like reduce down, and then that was a glaze you put on top of the steaks with the mushrooms when they came off.
So rinse the mushrooms off, melt some butter in the pan. Usually like almost a half a stick of butter I melt in the pan.
Mhm.
Throw the mushrooms in, let them simmer for about 10 minutes, flipping them occasionally, and then the steak's on. Then I go and add some garlic to it. And then I will do that. I'll take a little either balsamic or I've even used cooking wine, the red, a couple of splashes in there, then let that cook down. And by the time that cooks down, that
Mhm.
butter and the other stuff that's in there with the garlic on there. And then I'll take some blue cheese, a couple of tablespoons, and just mix in with there while it's still nice and warm. You dump that over your
Yeah.
steak.
Peter White, I take my Lipitor before bed every night. So
Well, but you know what? I don't take any of that, and I eat meat probably 4 or 5 times a week at least.
yeah.
No cholesterol issues or
Oh, I've got
triglycerides.
family history, and mine was a little high.
I
My
do
dad's
too.
had 3 heart attacks.
What's
So
that?
my dad's had 3 heart attacks too, and it's just my dad's side of the family works heart attack, heart attack, heart attack, heart attack.
Mhm.
So they tested mine, and mine was high. So I've been on Lipitor for 15
Hey,
years
bourbon
probably.
baller. Cheers, brother. Long time no see, at least since Ken stream. Twice.
Cheers, Lee. Prayers to you,
Yeah.
buddy.
Oh, that Montreal seasoning is I love that.
Mhm.
Yep. About a half to an hour before. Yep. Rub that on there and just leave them set. Just leave it set. I've done it the night before. Rub that stuff on there, both sides, real good. Put them on a plate, put a little plastic wrap or something over them, and then half hour, whatever, before I'm ready to cook it, I bring them out, separate them, throw them on the grill.
That's my seasoning for burgers on the grill. It's the
No,
Montreal.
I like it on burgers. I like it on steaks.
Mhm.
I don't mind it on chops. I mean, you mean you can put it on whatever the hell you want to put it on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I go to Costco and I get the really big
Yep.
canister of it.
Hey, Dano. Cheers, sir.
Cheers
Happy
now.
St. Patrick's Day. Thanks for popping in to say hi, smashing that like button. Appreciate you, man. All right. That was nice. That Klein leash, when it opens up, it's really going to be nice. Of course, I got to cover that because I am not sticking that darn cork in there
Mhm.
again. And I got to see what I think. I got an E.H. Taylor. That might work. That might work. But I will say this: this is one of the first ones I've had that did this upon first opening. I've had it happen down the road to where the cork splits, but I'm just lucky that this just didn't break off, right in there. Ugh. It's aggravating, but it happens. Nothing you can do. Look at this. Cheers, Doug. Thank you for popping in there, saying hi, smashing the like button, telling everybody just how you feel. All right. Let me clean my palate. I've got some more of the red breast here. I'm going to have that. I think I'm going to get that Egan's Conviction. It's a toss-up between that and the Writer's Tears right now, but finish this Red Breast PX. God, it's such a nice caramel sweetness on the nose on that red breast. I mean, I just put it up to my nose and it's just like, it's caramel all day long here. Caramel all day long with that sherry sweetness. Mm-hmm. Really, it's like a melted caramel. Like, oh my goodness. Wow. That's wonderful.
So speaking of broken corks, this is not a Four Roses in here. This is, I broke the cork on my green spot, the Leoville Barton, a while ago, and I decanted it into I had this bottle cleaned out. I was saving it.
There you go.
So
it saved the day.
Yep. It was one of a group pick. It had a really cool tater sticker, so I saved one.
There you go. I like that. Got your 6.
Yep, it's for the military canines. It was a fundraiser.
Let me put this back. Thank goodness I have a backup for this. Now I'm just at the halfway mark. But once you
guys do not have any redacted, I need to pick up a bottle.
I don't either.
I love that stuff too, especially the older ones. Used to come in the box, and it actually had the map of the distillery in it.
Really?
You know which redacted we're talking about, right?
No. Which one?
It's a certain 12-year-old Irish from John's Line.
Oh.
The older packaging had a map of the distillery in the box.
I don't know why, but that Glen Morengi just caught my eye, and I'm like, the Tale of Tokyo? No.
Okay.
Irish, Anthony. Oh, you know what? I'm going to pull this out because I really haven't been. The Writer's Tears was not because it was closer. Well, it was, but little Writer's Tears in the Marcella cask. Well, that is always a heavenly drop. But I really do use this one sparingly because I have not found a replacement. I'm not. And I should have when I had the chance. And the same thing, like this one's chapter 5. I wish I would have. But, it's just one of those things. And this is 45 ABV, so it's a nice, this is a nice proof for this whiskey. This is a nice proof for this whiskey. And, like I said, that one I just opened, the cork cracked, but it didn't totally come off, so I won't put it back. But I always make sure that the cork is moist and slowly rotate it a little bit while it's still in there so it doesn't do that. But that was just a bad cork when they put it in there. There's nothing you can do. They say,
I'm getting to the point where if I haven't poured it for a while, I kind of do the Roy Aquavice thing and I'll flip it over for a second.
Yeah.
Before I open it.
Exactly. That's why I turn mine to the side for that same purpose, is just because that, it just needs to be done because I don't want to break the darn.
What's the finish on that Writer's Tears then?
Marsala.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think this is my favorite green spot, this Leoville Parton with the red Bordeaux. Man,
So
it's so good.
I've had this for a little over 2 years, and I intentionally put it towards the back of the shelf. So I have to move other things like the PX, like the Stacie, like the 12-year Redbreast, before I
Mhm.
get to it. So I usually go, ooh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Let me grab this or let me grab that. Uh, so this one will definitely have to go to the back for 3, 4, 6 months from now or something like that to make me go and get this thing again. Because it's really such a nice whiskey.
Mhm.
And if I ever see another one pop out again, like this, I'll buy it. I'll roll the dice and buy it because, no guarantee it's going to be as good as this one. But if it's the same finish, I'll gamble on it because if it's even close to this, I'll accept it. That's the thing. Those are one of the purchases that you make that you don't know what you have and
Mhm.
you didn't realize it in time. And that was me. And then when I realized it, even before I realized, my wife says, "Why don't you get another one of these? Why don't you get another one of these? It is limited and blah, blah, blah." And I said, "Yeah, they do that. It's a marketing thing. It's a marketing thing. It's not going to go anywhere. It'll be here tomorrow, blah, 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 blah."
Yeah.
But after I really got into it and started sipping on it, I'm like, oh man.
That's what I get when Donald Rance that used to be on Lives a lot. He got me in. I buy the beer finished Tealings from overseas.
Mm-hmm.
Their beer cast finish that are absolutely phenomenal.
Well, Andrew will keep me abreast of what's happening at Costco because he goes there quite often. And that's where I got this one. And this goes down like, oh my gosh.
Mhm.
This Black Loman 12. I told him, I go, I need more already. And he already got me this and 2 others. I need more already. What's that tell you? I need more already. So I told him, standing order. I need more of this already. So I got to leave what's in there unless I get one of those needs to where I have to pounce on it.
Mhm.
Yeah, exactly. But I love it. I gave one away recently, and I'm not mentioning the person's name because when I show up there with it, they're going to be surprised. So, and they do, believe it or not, there are a couple of people that actually watch my stream. So, anyway, I don't want to give that away, but when I show up there, they'll be getting one, and so I have that one, and then the other one I had as a backup for my backup. Somebody was really getting into Scotch, and they wanted to go into peat, and I said Highland Park 12 or a Loch Lomond 12. So I gave them my backup's backup. And I said, here, this is how serious I am. Here, try this. And they called me a couple weeks later and they said, holy smokes. I said, good or bad when you say holy smokes? They go, the peat is amazing in this. And I said, well, peat is amazing. You just have to do it right. Some people can jump. We've talked about this many times. Some people can jump off the high dive into,
Yeah.
12 feet of water and go into Lafroig or Ardbeg or Lagavulin, with, no problem. Really no problem. Other people do it and they want to just flail on the floor and drag their tongue across one of those urinal mats to try to get that thing off of there,
Yeah.
Right? Right. So anyway, I gave him that, and he said, "Oh my God, you are." This is what they said. He said, "Oh my God, you're so right." I says, "I've had more people tell me the way I explain Pete to them and how to start getting into that." I says, You'll get there. And I'm not saying you'll do it in a day or a
Mhm.
week or a month, but you will get there. Once you get that taste and you understand it, and that's just it. You got to get the taste. Once you get the taste and you work your way through it, I go, bingo. Hey, Mr. Great Shot. Cheers, brother. Thanks for popping in, saying hello, and smashing that like button. Always appreciate you. Just poured some of that Loch Lomond Top. It is an amazing pour, Mark. Honestly, it is. I can't. I really can't talk about it enough. Particularly the value it is right now at Costco for like $25 if you can find it, and that's just a problem. So who knows when I'll get any more? And technically, I went through 3 bottles, but 2 I have given away. But I am that confident that if you start there, particularly when you're new for Pete, and you work your way right up that line, let's just say to a Loch Lomond, to a Highland Park, to this Klein Leash, even though it's not, or not Klein Leash, sorry, a Colila or something like that, and then go into Lagavulin, go into Lefroy, something, if you really want to do a dive, you'll be fine. But it's how you become acclimated to the peat. So again, you either sink or swim if you're going to do it or not. You know what? I don't anymore. I will get it on the retro hail or towards the ends of the bottles for some reason. Don't know why. But the people that are new to peat pick it up.
Mhm.
They say there's some smokiness about it. It's good, but there's some smokiness about it. And I go, that's called peat.
First Highland Park I had years ago, I got that. It was the Johnson and Johnson Band-Aid smell. But
Oh yeah,
after I got acquired it, then I don't smell it anymore.
but exactly, and that's
But
what
it
I
was
tell
very
people.
distinct when you first try it.
So this past, when I was in Yuma, there's another purveyor down there that I know that has a liquid establishment, retail, and I brought him down the smoke wagons you see over my shoulder. I opened one for him to try. I mean, I literally opened it right there. Said, "Here." So he sipped that. He sipped the Barrels of Hope when they did the Still Austin, that one right there. And he was floored at the Still Austin. He goes, "That is amazing. And it does not drink like it's 116 proof at all." He says, "It doesn't have that burn and blah, 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 blah." And I said, and I looked up, I says, "How you doing peddling at Garrison Brothers?" He goes, "Dude, that one is shit." I go, "Exactly." I go, "That's the problem with Garrison Brothers." But I go, they all have hit or misses. They all have hit or misses. However, it's more miss on a Garrison Brothers, in my opinion, than hit. Okay. I said, but the ones I've had have not been to my liking at all. But when I talked to him about the Still Austin, he's like, "This is amazing." And I go, "Yeah, absolutely." Hey, Faz. Cheers, man. Just having lunch and listening. Well, it's St. Patrick's Day for us, sir. So let me lift a glass and say cheers to you all in New Zealand. Thank you for
There's Wells.
popping in, brother. Appreciate hearing from you or seeing you, and you just coming in to smash that like button. So thank you and happy St. Patty's Day. Gosh, this Writer's Tears is good. So anyway, the last thing he finished up on was my Lefroy 10 finished in a sherry. And I said, "Now look, you're either going to like this or not." I said, "But it's very medicinal." And the first thing he said is, "It's like Band-Aids." And I chuckled and I go, So you're either going to like it or you're not. And I said, I warned you before you sip it. Well, he took it and he goes, whoo, gee, many Christmas. And I laughed. I said, well, he goes, it is a taste. I go, boy, it is a taste. There's no doubt about it. I said, you're either going to like it or you're not going to like it. He said, it's not bad, but he goes, I don't know if I could do this every day. I go, I was once you. I said, but now I don't get the Band-Aids or the medicinal note. And I said, most people say iodine in Band-Aids. And he goes, oh, that's it. His eyes lit up. He goes, that's it. I go, anyway, but going forward, I said, Lafroig is an acquired taste, but you need to sometimes step up to the plate before you actually put both feet on it and dive into Lafroig. I said, that's why I put you down here and kind of moved you up. And then I said, do Lafroig last because the peat will blow your palate for everything else if you do it first. So anyway, I had to pick him up one of those private barrel smoke wagons. God, almost said Lafroig. I'm like, oh my God, Anthony, you're an idiot. So I picked him up one, and I'll take it down there when I go visit the parents next month or so, or who knows, could be next week. I don't know. And I'll take it down there. I know he's coming up this way for March Madness because that's coming up, what, this week?
Yeah, they're doing the selection show right now, actually.
Yeah, I was going to say March Madness. So it gets to be a zoo here in Vegas. But anyway, he told me he was coming up. I said, look, I said, if you're here and you want it, I'm not going to make any promises because I avoid the strip like the plague. I said, so, or I can just hand deliver it to you. You know, he's like, yeah, do that. I go, okay. So there you are. So I don't have to go there and do that crap. I'm a big fan of Lab 10 shirt. Yeah, I tell you what, Peter, I just saw that bottle a couple of weeks ago, and the only thing that came out of my mouth, and Sugar Kitty, get ready for the bleep. I said, holy shit. And by the time I finished up with the last thing, my wife reached up and grabbed it, and she put it on the counter. She goes, he's taking that. Because I said, when he does that, that means something that he really has wanted and he has not found, and he stumbled upon it, basically. So she put it on the counter and said, we're leaving with that. And I said, well, how do you know I absolutely want that? She goes, it doesn't make a difference. You're going to leave with it because I know that reaction. Note to self. More whiskey is coming to my future.
I get that reaction at home. So yes, he'll be taking it.
But anyway, so that's how I ended up with it. But it was the last one on the shelf at Liquor Lineup too. And they just restocked. So, I mean, it was never to be found, never to be found. And then, you know, I've had other ways to acquire it. But it's like, and I'm going to use Mark there as an example. He has offered to drop me off pretty much anything I need, particularly it's from Still Austin. You know, but I don't like to specifically ask unless it's one of those things to where I just have got to have it. I've got to have it. So when you're here, please bring me a bottle. I will gladly pay you, you know, but Marcus said, what do you want? You know, it's all over down here or whatever the case may be. I'm just using because he's here, but I don't specifically like to ask for stuff like that. But that's just me.
So I got a question for Fez in chat there. He's talking about the Spade dram glasses. Are those the thinner, lighter Glen knockoffs? Because I have two that have Bunnahabhain branding on them. That actually, last time, well, a few years ago, I bought a 12 and it came with a gift set. But they're two lighter kind of knockoff Glencairns.
Ben Romick, wow. Okay. Well, I'm gonna have to look for that because I've seen a few Benromics here, but I haven't paid attention to the release.
Sure. Okay.
So I have a couple of spay burns coming my way that are travel only releases, and one is a Spayburn 10, and the other one is a 16-year-old travel only. And I had to have it. So JD is acquiring that for me. And for basically $100 for 2 bottles.
Yeah.
And he said they are lip licking delicious. I'm like, yes, please. I don't care if it's in Polish on the label.
He's
I don't
bringing me
care.
back a bottle of premium
And
Polish vodka.
they're 1 liter bottles. Yes.
Yeah, he's bringing me back a bottle of he said a premium Polish vodka that's like $12 on the shelf there. That
Oh,
beats
yeah.
everything that's on the
I
shelf
remember
here.
that because he mentioned that. Okay.
So I
Yeah.
can't wait for that.
Yeah.
So like
Well,
$12 on the shelf there? Damn.
I mean, they get some stuff there.
Well, I mean, they probably make some pretty good stuff in Poland too. That
I know you do, Mark. I know you do. Believe me. And I appreciate it. I honestly do. And I really do appreciate the offer when you come out here like that. It means a lot. And like I said, I just am not the person to do that. But sometimes it's like, oh, I just have got to have that. You know, it's like, sorry, but you just can't help it.
Mhm.
Oh, you know what? I don't like, well, you know me, 43 ABV and North, non-chill filtered, no color added. I'm good.
Yep.
Hey, Gandy, cheers, man.
Cheers, man.
Appreciate you for stopping in, saying hi, smashing the like button, and just see how we're doing. It's always good to have you around. Mm. Wow. I'm telling you, the Marcella finishing this writer's tears. If any of you have a chance to find that, don't hesitate to buy it. I really like to finish it. Now it's of course my bottle's been opened up a minute, but it's just a lovely pour. I'm going to use a Donald Rance term. It's a lovely pour.
Well,
It
Irish
really
distillate
is.
takes very well to different finishing too.
What's that?
Said Irish distillate takes very well to different finishing.
Yeah. Yeah. And but it's just really, really good.
Mhm.
Yeah. And I did, and I will confess, I had one fleeting thought about reaching out to you and email and saying, run and grab me one. But I was like, no, I will wait till it's really one of those ones that where I have to ask and go, please, 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 with sugar on top. But I really wanted to try that, or the one of the Nancy Fraley ones. Was it the blue corn? Correct me if I'm wrong. That one, I
Yeah,
really
I had a pour of
was
that.
on the
Oh,
friends about reaching out to you about
oh,
that. And as a matter of
oh.
fact, I was on a few streams. I think one was Livewire, and I was ready to type it in there, but I'm like,
Have you had a pour of it yet?
what's that? No.
I had a pour. I think was it Great Shot to send it to me? But yeah, it's so tasty, and it doesn't drink more than 85 or 86 proof. It's dangerous.
Everybody says that. It's not what
Yeah,
you think.
it drinks so light, but
Yeah.
it's so good.
Yeah. Eric, I mean, honestly, this is like, I hate to use the term crack, but it is, you know, it calls you. It does. Everybody has these bottles. You know, if you have
Mhm.
as many as most of us have, you have these bottles that there's a reason you shove them all the way to the back of your shelves, because one, it's the last one you have and you can't replace it. And it's just divine in the pour. It hits all the senses. It's what makes that pour, and you're like, oh my gosh. So this is one that I push in the back regularly, and I can't until a couple of weeks ago. When was it? When I drank all the Irish, I had like 8 or 9 pours of different Irish whiskeys, which was a very hard Monday morning. This was one of them I pulled out, and I was like, oh my gosh. It just comes flooding back, the memories, the tastes, the craving, the in the back of your head, that little thing pops up and goes, you know, it's on the shelf. It's on the shelf waiting for you. Go get it. And I'm like, I can't. No, because once that bottle is gone, it's gone. And that's the heartbreaking thing. And each time you take it, and you go, well, there's still some left. There's still some left. There's still some left. But then you get down to that 2 or 3 pours left in the bottle, and it's like, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Sorry, but we all have those darned pours.
Yeah.
We all do. Oh, yes, sirree. That Lions Fire, I touched it a couple of days ago, Thursday, when I got back from Yuma. And I'm like, oh my gosh.
No.
And the thing is I can't just, how do I say this? If I open that, it's like this thing. I hear it. I know it's there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's always the right pour, no matter what you're doing.
Yeah.
I think the flavor is that good on that particular bottle. And even when the price shot up to like $160 for that bottle, I was to the point where I had the coin in my hand. Heads, I buy it. Tails, I don't. And I'm looking at like the second to the last bottle that I know of on the shelf, and I'm just like, but we all done it. It's the price point. It's a bottle we want. It's a bottle we like. It's a bottle we would really like to have again.
Yeah.
But it gets to the point where the money like I have a 22-year-old Alexander Murray that is by Tobermory distillery they got it from. It is so good. But the price of the bottle, if you find it, is $60 more than I paid for it.
Oof.
And I really, really want it. And I've paid more than that for a bottle recently. Okay. But there are fewer and fewer and fewer of this release. And I'm lucky to find it years later still. And I can count them on the shelf. But to me, once you pay, let's just say $100 for the bottle, and for it to jump $60 in price.
Yeah.
But still, it's undervalued if you go $10 a year. Okay. Giving that, I don't know what, everyone has a limit, but mine is about $10 a year for aged whiskey. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, what I call the bad side says you want it. You very, very do need it. You need to have that bottle right now. But the other side goes, it's $60 more than you paid for it. What are you, an idiot? Whack. So anyway, that being said, it is still on the shelf. But anyway, what is up, Jim? How are you?
Guys.
Cheers.
All right.
Well,
Certainly doing better than my brother is right now.
What's that?
Certainly doing better than my brother is right now.
Oh, what's going on?
Oh, he's just in the ER because he just blew out. It was like he just blew out his knee.
Oh,
He was doing stupid human tricks that he and I are too old to be doing.
Oh,
He was in a vacant parking lot on a skateboard with one of those inflatable parasail things.
Oh, please.
Well, because the water's still too cold around here to go out on the water. And finally, he lost his balance and stumbled out the skateboard and twisted the knee. So, yeah, stupid human tricks.
Well, excuse me. Yeah. Been there, done that. Got the
Spade
t-shirt.
Ramblas.
But I was snowboarding in the middle of nowhere when
Okay.
some stupid come over me.
You can see the whole glass.
nice.
Look at that.
Yeah, I'm drinking Irish tonight.
Good for you.
I got my good bottle. This is okay, and I'm not upset considering when I pay for it bottle, and the you can't win them all bottle. Right now, I'm drinking from the you can't win them all bottle.
Oh, yeah.
It's not bad. This is
No.
the single pot still.
No,
Not
for the
bad.
money, it's a decent pour
I mean,
that's readily
especially
available.
considering I got it on markdown
Yeah.
for $30 because they were.
I was going to say,
overpriced.
what did they pay, about $35? Yeah, that's a decent price.
I've definitely had better pots still, and I wouldn't buy another one.
Oh, well, yeah, but it's not a drain pour.
No.
Yeah.
This is the
That
I'm not upset
I
about it,
wasn't
especially
happy
considering what
with.
I paid for it. This is Bushmills 12.
Keep holding that up for a second.
And I gotta get my
So
label.
that's the one that I've had a couple of different pours from different bottles, that particular one. And you know what? It just wasn't, it was good and it was a pick, but you know what? It just didn't do it for me. You know?
Yeah, the 10 is. I think the 10 is better. So I had this and the 10, and this the 10, the 16, and I think the 21, and a couple other oddities at a tasting in the fall. And I couldn't remember which one I liked better, the 10 and the 12. I think it was the 10. Now, granted, the store that I bought this at had this in the 10 for the same price of $48. And no, don't ask me why. I don't know. But I took advantage of it.
Well, you know what? You have to. I mean, but I was lucky enough to get a couple of pours before I made the purchase. So I was like, and they're like, what
But
do you
it's
think?
good.
I go, it's good, but it didn't make me want to put one in each hand and go up
No.
to the counter and pay for it.
And that's the good bottle, especially
Yeah.
for being the bottom of their range. And I think I probably overpaid for this because it should be like what $25 or something. I paid like $32, but it's surprisingly good for being the bottom end of their range.
I thought that's what he had, Sugar Kid. Didn't he do a short or something like that he was drinking that on?
Yeah, Jim, I still need to find a bottle of that rye yet, too.
I think that if they would bump it up to 43, Eric, it
I'd
would
love
be
that. The sample you sent.
Yeah, I'm surprised I've been able to find that. And yeah, Peter, I was aware of them of the lawsuit between them and Glenn Bryden. Like I said, the SWA gets ridiculous sometimes with the things they sue over. And it's like, settle down over there. You don't own everything.
Yeah.
Oh, I was going to say, you're killing an iPhone 17? Oh, tears.
Got an epic bottle kill there. Damn.
But he's got a backup, so all good. Exactly, Fez. That's what Donald was saying.
Oh, yeah.
And I think the Redacted is one of the better Irish bottles that I've had.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, at least in my area, I've been seeing a regular green spot for $75 to $80 now.
Ouch.
And it's like, I'm just going to buy Powers. I'm not going to say Redacted because I think people need to know what it is so they go out and buy it. Powers John's Lane for $70 because it's better.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I was wondering.
I don't know, so
I
have
was
not had it.
mistaken.
Yeah, so speaking of barrel.
Yes. Yeah. If you've got the 2023 and you can get it for a C note, buy it. I like it and still have it here. Yeah. If you can get it for $100, James. Yeah. Pick yourself up a bottle. You will not be disappointed, particularly after you get a dram or two out of it and let it open up. You know the old thing, get it down to the shoulder. But it's a nice pour. It's a nice pour. Not every day. I mean, you do what you want, but it's one of those ones where you've got some time just to sit down, relax on the patio, or just somewhere in the house with a book, damn paper for all I care, sip on it, and just, yeah, it's a nice, I like it. It's a nice pour, and I would highly recommend it if you can get that, especially there, because it's not here. So, yeah, absolutely.
So speaking of barrel, I don't know if anybody else is in the Bourbon Real Talk Facebook group.
Did you talk about the one building being sold?
Yeah,
I saw that too, and I'm like, oh, that's interesting.
yeah.
I was in a different group that somebody else posted it, but
yeah. Barrel has put up their for sale what was supposed to be their brand new rick house, and apparently its contents.
wasn't it the bottling facility building too?
It might be.
That's what I saw was the bottling facility in the warehouse.
Which, certainly raises some questions. And somebody said in the comments, and I couldn't verify this. I did an internet search. I found nothing to verify this. That supposedly they discontinued Stellum as well. I couldn't find anything to verify that. So it sounds like Barrel may be in not such good shape.
Mm-hmm.
Whoops, Peter.
It happens. We've all have stories about that. We all have stories about stuff and shoulda, woulda, coulda. I told mine shoulda, woulda, coulda. But like Mark said, we all have our limitations on what we're willing to pay for something, no matter how good it is and how bad we want it. Especially when something jumps up so drastic in price, and you're like, I paid $100 for this thing a year ago or a year and a half ago, and now it's jumped up 60. Are you me? Yeah, it's just you just can't do it. You just can't do it. It's just.
Well, didn't I hear like a lot of the IDL bottles just went through the roof?
Yeah, I was gonna say nothing was going on with all the spot whiskeys.
I mean, Red Spot was like $350 in the total wines here.
To some extent, Red Breast is that IDL just went out of their tree and they jacked up everything, and so now we're seeing regular green spot at like $75 to $80. We're seeing yellow spot around 140. We're seeing red spot around $250.
Well, somebody
blue around 300 and gold around 500.
I was just going to say, blue jumped to 300 plus here because I wanted to buy another bottle, and if I could have got it for what I paid for that bottle, around $1.75, I would have picked it up. But when I went to get it, it was 300 plus. I'm like,
oh no,
we've got our limitations. And I'm like, all right, Mom, you better make that sucker last.
Well, one of the Wisconsin groups, somebody posted a picture of Red Spot at the Total Wine in Madison, $349.
Say what, Peter? You saw what for clearance for 61 Canadian 2 weeks ago?
Ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
What?
How good is the Jameson 18, everybody? That's no one answered that. I haven't
had it. What I know is that there's two different versions of it. There's the old version, which is a 40% 18-year-old. And supposedly it's okay, but it suffers for the proof. And there's the more recent version of it, which is I think at 46%, which supposedly is supposed to be pretty good. But I have not had either of them. I have not splurged on them.
So is the newer 18? Is that the one that's supposed to be the Bow Street?
I
think the newer 18 was called Bow Street.
I think that was a separate release.
Okay.
Let's see. That was launched in 2018.
Okay.
That was 18-year-old cast strength.
Okay.
That if you can find the Bow Street, buy it.
Okay.
Because that's supposed to be exceptional. It's just.
Yeah, Donald just commented.
Donald. Thank you, Donald.
Thanks, Donald.
Oh, hell, Yoda.
There you go. There he is. There he is.
Okay.
Man.
Yeah, exactly, Peter.
I bought my
Yeah.
batch in one blue spot, I think from Dublin, and I think I paid $120 for it.
Well, if you'd have known now what you would have known then when you bought that, you'd have bought the case.
Yeah,
and had it
probably.
shipped. Yeah, exactly.
That's the bottle I'm still working on. It's just about gone, but
Well, like I said, I left mine in Yuma because, my stepmom, she really likes it, and she doesn't drink it all the time. She's like, I still have some left. I go, I don't care if you drink it all. I go, it's for you. Drink it. I'm done with it. I've had my taste out of it. I know it's good.
Oh, there we go.
I said, but there won't be another one coming anytime soon.
okay, so Donald, so then the Bow Streets are kind of like ECBP, then they're different batches, different ABVs.
Yeah. But
That'd
anyway.
be a fun one to try different ones.
Yeah. Yeah, I think IDL are in for a rude awakening because there's a whole bunch of craft Irish coming down the pipeline behind them, and they're going to turn behind them, look behind them, and go, "Oh shit!"
Yep.
Because everyone's going to no, we're just going to buy this, and you can take your price and stuff it, and all of a sudden, go, well, I guess maybe we should lower those prices. Whoops.
And from what I'm hearing, a lot of that craft Irish is really, really good.
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you what. I'm going to end the stream because I want to give everybody enough time to get ready for Livewire.
Okay.
Get something to eat. I'm going to do the same thing, actually.
Same here, actually.
You two hold on here a minute. Don't go far. But I want to say thank you to everybody, and thank you to Four Leaf Whiskey for allowing me to fill in this time slot for her. I really appreciate it. It's always nice to get to see people who I don't get to talk to so much, particularly from the East Coast and over in the UK, although James is always here. And Faz particularly, it was really great to be able to see him and pop in here, and Peter popping in, and of course Donald. But I hate to say they're my regulars, but they're regulars. But I really do appreciate it, and again, really appreciate Four Leaf Whiskey for allowing me to fill in for her. And I hope I have done her time slot justice, and I didn't cause her any subscribers. I can't always say who's going to come on. Sorry, Stacie, but you get what you get, and you got us three. So sorry, we'll apologize in advance. But this is the best we could do on short notice. But again, let me just say happy St. Patty's Day to everybody. Appreciate you all. And remember, here in about 45 minutes, Livewire Whiskey's coming on. Make sure you all tune in. Stacie and Mike, and see what's going on over there. And I look forward to seeing you all next week. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Good night.